We begin with our focus on the upcoming ANC National Elective Conference because some members of the party who are disputing the chairperson of the party's Electoral Committee, Motlanthe, NEC list are now going to the High Court. This is to try and compel the party to urgently release all the raw data that's for the nomination process of candidates. Earlier this month, the ANC released a list of 200 names of members who would officially be elected into 80 positions on the party's NEC. Mbali Thethani is our reporter tracking this story, joining us live from Johannesburg this lunchtime. Mbali, who exactly has launched this appeal?
Well, of course, Tembegile, one would say that we are just a few days away from the ANC's elective conference. It is taking place from Friday. And, you know, one would say that what is an ANC conference without any litigation? And I understand that a group of ANC members, some from Gauteng, some from Limpopo, have filed papers to the High Court in Johannesburg asking the court to ask the ANC and specifically the Electoral Committee to release the raw data in terms of how it came up to officially choose 200 names which will now be on that list. And of course, they will then be tasked, the ANC conference itself will be tasked with officially electing 80 members to its NEC. But just to give us a bit of an update, Tembegile, in terms of why they are asking the courts to do this, and especially just giving us an insight in terms of what this motion actually looks like. We are joined by someone who's actually the second applicant on those court papers, and his name is Buddha Tsotetsi. Buddha, thank you so much for agreeing to have this interview with us. You, alongside some of your other colleagues, have filed these papers to the High Court in Johannesburg. Why are you taking the ANC to court?
Thank you so much, Mbali, and good day to viewers of Newzroom Afrika. Mbali, as you will have followed our processes and observed our initial steps that we took in terms of communicating to the ANC, we have written a number of correspondences to the Electoral Committee of the ANC, quite tolerantly and patiently so, to ask them to release the raw data for the sake of transparency and accountability, such that each and every member of the ANC and society at large is able to observe that the ANC had engaged in internal processes which were free, fair and just. And we have not been receiving positive response from the level of the Electoral Committee until an extent in which we had to now write to the leadership of the ANC through its Secretary General, the acting Secretary General, Comrade Paul Mashatile. And we said we will wait for the response of the NEC. Unfortunately, we are not even sure whether the NEC discussed our matter or not, but what we can say to you is that we did not receive any official response from the African National Congress until we decided that probably we've got to take this matter to court because we have exhausted all forms of internal processes of the ANC quite patiently, quite disciplined and tolerant, without any positive response from the leadership of the ANC. And we said, look, we're filing the papers to the court, seeking the court to instruct the ANC or to order the ANC to release the raw data of a number of nominations that took place since the President General meetings of the ANC took place, number of nominees which were nominated from the highest to the lowest. The ANC itself, through Kgalema Motlanthe, went to a press conference where he has mentioned that close to 8,000 nominees were on their information, the Excel in this instant, or whatever manual mechanism that they are using. So it means they do have information of each and every nominee who was nominated. And that's simply the information we're asking from them, that they release the raw data. And we're giving them up till Friday. Failure to do so, we also further asking the court to order the ANC to discuss this matter on their agenda at its 55th National Conference of the ANC before any election processes could commence, because it will be fair enough for everybody to feel satisfied. Anyone who has participated in this process, it will, in our view, clear the air. It will close the doubt which might be there about the possible manipulation of processes or patronage that could have happened, or the corruption that might have took place during this process. So we simply say they should release the raw data, and then this matter should be discussed at the National Conference of the ANC comes the 16th of December.
Do you feel that the lists have been manipulated to serve a certain purpose?
Of course, we've got a strong view that for the fact that almost more than 7 days of our communications with them, they've been buying time, at some point calling us names, telling us we are so disrespectful, insulting us, accusing us that we want to put the ANC name into disrepute. And we believe that they are trying to hide something. Why can't they simply release the raw data? So maybe they know that something did not go right. The process could have been interfered with. There could have been manipulations. There's been allegations of vote buying in the ANC and exchanges of monies. These are the allegations that the ANC has been facing in a number of its programs that has to do with elections, including the previous local government elections, where communities were not happy about certain candidates of councillors that they had preferred because of certain dominant factions in the ANC, maybe at branch levels, regions and so on, will impose candidates of their factions or groupings or friendships. So our communities have been going this painful chapter. Branches of the ANC have suffered this pain. And in the last local government election, for instance, Comrade Kgalema Motlanthe and his committee had promised to branches and communities that they will come back to them after they have looked at their grievances. And nothing much significant has been done in ensuring that the ANC regress those kind of negativities. So now this thing is escalating to the national level, and we say it's for the ANC to clear its name. We don't have any intention to tarnish the name of the ANC. The decency is with the ANC to clear its name and just release the raw data for the purpose of showing that they subscribe to democracy. And one of the cornerstones of democracy is accountability, it's transparency, it's collective leadership, it's consultation and consensus. So we simply saying let them release the raw data and let them put our matter before the agenda of the national conference, because what we are trying to achieve here is to actively participate in the process of renewal of the ANC. It cannot be lip services anymore. ANC has been accused of corruption, and if the ANC wants to clear its name away from corruption, it must start by cleaning its own internal processes. It must start by putting clean internal mechanism that deals with fairness and consensus before it can be discharged with the responsibility to go and fight corruption in the society and in government. So the factionalized ANC and corrupted ANC would not give us the right product that we are actually looking at from them in as far as fighting corruption in government, fighting issues that all criminally related matters. So it must start with itself to clean itself by giving a raw data. It's a simple thing that we as members of the ANC or some of the nominees or some of the candidates are asking for.
Do you feel that there are certain names that you feel should be on the list of 200 and didn't make it to that list?
There are no certain names. Our struggle to challenge the ANC for transparency and accountability, it's a matter of a process that needs to be fair, that needs to be free, that must be just. It has nothing. It got nothing to promote certain individual. The process which is free, which is fair, on itself, it will create or produce the kind of caliber of leadership that democracy would have allowed. For instance, one of the common general understanding, which is political, that we share amongst all the people who have filed the papers is that we believe in politics of intergenerational mission. We say it's high time that the ANC should allow itself to give an opportunity to new ideas, new energy, give an opportunity for those who were produced by the youth movement of the ANC to come to the space of leadership and contribute. Of course, with experience, of course, young women and men with a track record, with political credentials, but with vision to take our country to the next level. So there's no specific name that we are campaigning for, or a particular name that we thought that particular name was supposed to have made it and it did not make it. We're just saying that the process needs to be free and fair. Let them release the raw data so that everybody can be satisfied. If they were able to come to a conclusion of 200 names, and in their rules, which they are contradicting themselves, according to their rules, the ANC was supposed to, for instance, engage in a process of vetting and screening before they can release the top 200 names. They went to publish the top 200 names. They said this is the final list. And then after we have launched our objections, only then they started to do screening and vetting and starting to remove. So that on its own, it shows that the process itself lacks credibility with scrupulousness.
And lastly, one would say that, what do you have to say to some people who would say that you're just being bitter because the people that you want are not on that list? Are you being bitter, hence why you're taking the party to court?
Pardon again?
I'm saying that, what do you have to say to some people who may say that this is just a bitter process because the preferred names that you want does not appear on the list of 200? Are you bitter at all?
Like I've indicated, there's no specific name that you may have wished for that particular name to be at the list. It's not about any individual. It's about the process. We're saying we want the credible process so that we save the image of the ANC. Going to court has nothing to do with tarnishing the name of the ANC. We are not fighting the ANC. We are just using the opportunity that is there given to us by the very same constitution of the ANC and the constitution of the country.
All right, thank you very much. Of course, that is one of the ANC's members, of one of those filing these court papers. Also, they're saying that they are not bitter, they are not serving any factions or certain groupings, but they just want transparency from the Electoral Commission of the ANC.